I would like to ask you the following question. Are you satisfied with your life? Are you happy where you are, what you're doing, who you're doing it with? I'm trusting yes. I see a lot of smiles out there. So I'm thinking that that is an affirmative, positive yes. Good, 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 good. Though, I will say, depending on the day, depending on the circumstances of life, sometimes we can have a different response come up, honestly, really, truly. This month, we are playing with the theme of teachers and students. And through these last few weeks of October, I have been highlighting some of the different teachers that we have had in our New Thought movement. Ernest Holmes, Charles and Myrtle Fillmore. I spoke of Eric Butterworth last week, who was a Unity minister. And saying that, though, I believe all of us, in our own way, are both teachers and students, depending on the flow of life and what is happening and whom we're with, and using our wisdom, our experience, we can share with others. There again, we can be open and receptive to learning and growing and allowing others to share with us, where we're coming from. Those teachers that I specifically mentioned, though, in our history of New Thought, not only didn't just speak about things that were of wisdom, of truth, they lived them. They demonstrated in their life that truth. And I think that really is the crux of what you can call a good teacher or not. Are they living their truth? Emerson said, "What you do speaks so loudly, I do not hear what you say." We are living an example of what our beliefs are, and it is outpictured all the time. We are all teachers. So I'm going to give you, here's a little bit of homework right away. This week, I would like you to sit and consciously take the time, take a piece of paper, and write down where you would like to be focusing your life energy more so in the next coming month, in the next coming year, in the next coming 5 years. Think about it. Write it down. I bet you there's probably more than one person in this room who has a bucket list. We've gotten familiar with bucket lists lately. Well, a bucket list is something that you want to have accomplished before you go off and move off onto another plane of existence, right? That bucket list needs to be continually being added to. Check it off, add to it. Check it off, add to it. One of our teachers in our New Thought movement, which is just a love, is Edwene Gaines. And Edwene Gaines teaches a prosperity. Her whole thing is about teaching the whole world to be prosperous. And Edwene has a plan. She says you've got to write down, keep a little notebook with you. And when you have an idea, write it down, write it down. Give yourself a date as to when you want to accomplish it by. And what she teaches is that if the date comes and goes and it still hasn't been marked off, go back and look within yourself and see, what is it about me that I need to change? What is it about me that I need to go beyond and above where I have been? Because we all know that we can never accomplish anything, do anything, be anything, unless we are already that in consciousness, in the unseen, in the spirit realm. And so we talk about speaking our word, we talk about writing it down, speaking our word, doing all these physical things so that we can express this infinite being that we are. Our topic this morning is called Be Raised Up. And where I'm going with that is the fact that I'd like us to be raised up to a higher level of consciousness than where we have thus experienced in our lives. We are all infinite beings. So this is natural for us. It's natural for us to want to move up and onward. I want you to broaden your vision this week, literally. There's a lot of homework here. I want to see some papers next week. They're going to turn it in. Really. Stephen Covey said, anything less than a conscious commitment to the important is an unconscious commitment to the unimportant. So there's thinking about it, there's writing it down, but then what happens? We got to do it. When we know within ourselves that this is something that I want to experience, this is a desire of my heart, we will naturally, automatically take a step in that direction. That's the way we're wired. When we believe it, when we believe this is something that I really want to do, I mean, you know it. You can see it in your own lives. If you want to take a trip, if you want to go on a vacation, what do? Well, you'll look it up and see, well, when do the airlines leave? Or what hotel do I want to stay in? Or, we make the steps that are necessary to do it. There's a story told of a soap manufacturer who was walking with a minister. The soap manufacturer says to the minister, the truth that you teach hasn't helped the world much. Look at all the hate and the illness and the poverty and the war in the world. As they walked, they passed some children playing in the park who were getting quite dirty. The minister said, I see the soap you make has not really helped the world much in cleaning up this filth and dirt. The soap manufacturer replied, well, soap works only when it is used. To which the minister replied and said, just like the truth that I teach. We can say things all we want, but unless we use it, unless we do it, it doesn't behoove us. It doesn't give us any sort of strength, of oomph. Our truth that we teach here, and you'll hear me say it week in and week out, there is one power, one presence. We call it God, we call it love, we call it truth, we call it substance. We know that it is all there is. That's what we are. We are this love in expression. We get to do it our own way. We get to choose how this beautiful infinite being is going to show up. And go back to Stephen Covey's words. Do it consciously. Figure out what is the important. I love the image that they talk about when you have a jar and you want to fill it. If you have a rock, you put the rocks in first. And then you fill up the balance of it with the smaller pebbles and then with the sand, because the sand will trickle on down. But if you have something important in your life that you want to get done, you better put that in first. So know what your priorities are. What are the things that are important to you? Get those done first. Don't get sidetracked with all the little trivia of life. Do the important things. Paramahansa Yogananda said, Lord, I will reason. I will. I will act. But guide thou my reason and my activity to the right thing that I should do. He was pretty wise. What he was telling us is to check in with the inner higher self, to let it be our guide, to let it show us what it is that it's tempting us to do. Because we get so used to getting in our little rut, getting used to doing things as they've been done, and we're just comfy with that. This infinite spirit, though, isn't comfy with ruts. It's not comfy with just staying on the couch and being a potato. It wants us to experience this life that it has. There's a story of a piano player. He was at a bar, piano bar. He's a pretty good piano player. And the people came out just to hear him play. But one night, a patron told him that, I don't want to hear you just play the piano anymore. I want to hear you sing. And the man says, well, I don't sing. But the customer was persistent. He told the bartender, I'm tired of listening to the guy just play the piano. I want to hear him sing. Well, the bartender shouted out across the room, hey, buddy, if you want to get paid tonight, sing a song. He had some motivation. Spirit was working on his behalf. So he sang. He sang the song, and the piano player, who had never sung in public, did so for the very first time. And nobody ever heard the song Mona Lisa sung the way it was sung that night by Nat King Cole. He didn't think he was a singer. Spirit had something else in mind. God was working through that patron who was upset that, hey, this guy's doing the same thing he's always doing. I want to hear him sing. Life will give us little boosts, little flags. Listen to them. He had to really be, I'm not going to get paid. Fine, I guess I'll do it. Cooperate when you have these promptings that come up for you. Now, maybe it's something you've never done, but you have it within you to do it. I talked to my thought for the week about when you don't know what to do. Many people use the acronym, what would Jesus do? What would Jesus do? And I like to use it, what would love do? In this situation, what would love do? And bring your whole psyche into accepting that and being open for it. And we know what love does. Love is all-encompassing. It's freeing. It's available. It's allowing. And it's encouraging. Love gives out on an unending basis, and that's what we are. We are love in expression all the time. And I have to say that we have teachers all around us at every moment. I think I shared with you that as I came back from the Anton conference, one of the ministers there is doing a retreat on her own, first time ever. And she's kind of nervous about it. She's never ever done this all on her own. I brought back the flyers. So Reverend Dr. Michelle Whittington is doing a retreat in Sedona in January. Sounds fabulous. I talked to her about it a little bit. And I haven't yet decided if I'm going to do it or not. And so she's emailing me. And I came back to her and I said, well, I put it out to some people. I mentioned it to some people, but I don't have a roommate. So I don't know that I'm going to be coming. This is her reply back to me. And now, my friend, well, I don't want to throw spiritual principle at you. Here you go anyway. If the retreat is really yours to do, if it is calling you to be there, if you think you would be served and supported by it, in parentheses, and only you can know that, on parentheses, then please don't let not having a roommate at this point stop you from taking advantage of a really cool upgrade. Rather, stand in the knowing that as this is yours to do, again, if it is, you will be totally supported in whatever you need for it to occur with ease and grace. All right, there you have it. I'm done preaching. And as I read that, I thought, yeah, she nailed me. Because what I was doing was giving an excuse. And I've shared with you, some of the ones who've been around here for many years, you've heard my definition of an excuse, taught to be by my mother-in-law. An excuse is a skin of a reason stuffed with a lie. A skin of a reason stuffed with a lie, and that's what I was doing. I was just kind of putting it off, just saying, oh, well, I don't know if I can do that. And it's silly. Do I really want to do it or do I not want to do it? That's the point. and not play these games of thinking that it's something else, trying to make it up, trying to cover it up. Recognize that each of us is an individual. We are going to do it our way. We don't need to please other people. We don't need to get their approval. We're doing it our way. And we need to do it, though. I love a Robert F. Kennedy quote that he said, "If there's nobody in your way, it's because you're not going anywhere." Don't make the excuse that somebody's in my way. They hopefully will be in your way because you're going. David Brinkley. A successful person is one who can lay a firm foundation with the bricks that others throw at him or her. Don't be concerned about what other people are throwing at you. You can take those and build on them. To me, this is a game of life that we are here to play, to enjoy, to give, to allow this infinite being that we are out, to play, to experience. It means doing what our heart is telling us to do. It means going back in and checking in. What's up today, higher self? For us, that you're going to give me the clues and the backup. You're going to part the ways, if need be, for me to accomplish these things that my heart is telling me I'd like to do. So I'm asking you to go within this week, check in with that higher power. Allow yourself to be raised up in consciousness, to be, to allow the experience of a deeper meaning of love than you have ever experienced before. To do it now. There's no waiting. There's going to be challenges. Oh yeah, there's going to be lots of potential excuses. And all that's doing is just holding you back. I want you to have your horses run wild this week. To raise to this higher level of vibration. It's fabulous. Let's do it together, okay? All righty? Namaste. Thank you.